phone, come to play. Catch our vibe, don't delay.
Facebook, YouTube streams, scrolling through your daily memes. GurlTauX show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what GurlTauX is all about. Keeping it real, it's what we do. So tune in now and join our crew. Lights moving through the screen, click subscribe, don't be mean. Upbeat chatter, it's our routine. GurlTauX show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what GurlTauX is all about. GurlTauX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere GurlTauX can be seen. GurlTauX show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what GurlTauX is all about. Update stories, laugh and cry. It's GurlTauX, so don't question why. It's the show that you'll adore. Come back daily to get some more. GurlTauX show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what GurlTauX is all about. GurlTauX is who we are. Come hang with us on your tablet, phone, or screen. Anywhere GurlTauX can be seen. GurlTauX show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what GurlTauX is all about. GurlTauX, log in now, watch our show. Likes and comments, let them flow. Every day we're on our way. GurlTauX show is here to stay. GurlTauX show, don't miss out. Join the fun, see what GurlTauX is all about.
Hello. Hey, everybody. It is a Tuesday. It feels like a Wednesday, a Thursday. I have to say, it felt like any day but Monday or Tuesday. Definitely did not think it was a Tuesday, but it is. It's Tuesday, and I am here. How is everybody doing out there? I hope you are having a pleasant day. Wow. What is happening out there? What is happening? What in the world is going on? Are we all paying attention to what's happening, or are there only certain people paying attention? So I'm going to say, I really kind of think there's only certain people paying attention. And yes, if you wonder what I'm doing, I am moving the Dear Margaret's over to the side over there so that they can be on here when it's time for Dear Margaret. Anyway, what is happening? And the funny thing is, I talk to people that are not like I am, where I watch these different channels and I watch what's happening. And I'm shocked. The pause is for effect. I'm shocked at how many people don't know what's going on. How many people that I actually talk to that are like, what's stabbing? What happened? What are you talking about? So then I have to, fill them in with what's going on. Anyway, let's get started with the show. Hey, GurlTauX Galaxy, my tribe, my village out there, my crew. I'm not sure what we're going to call ourselves yet. It's your host, Tori. I'm coming at you unfiltered here. And just to give you a little background about me, I'm a wife, a mama bear of 3 amazing cubs, all married, all crushing it. My eldest was a Marine, like his dad, and he is now a federal marshal. My middle cub is, actually, my eldest is a tech guru. in Silicon Valley, and he's crushing it there. And my middle son's a Marine. Now he is a federal marshal, and he's a daddy, and he followed in his father's footsteps. And my youngest son is also a Marine, and he followed in my husband's footsteps. And they're all doing amazing. I'm also a grandma bear to 9 grand cubs, and that includes my bonus 4 cubs through my Marine hubs. He also works for the Department of Defense. I know we've talked about that a little bit. I don't say too much about what he does. So that's 7 cubs we've got, and a whole lot of love. I am a veteran, a former police officer, cop, paramedic, and now I run a nonprofit for veterans while slinging art through my own business. Yeah, I'm kind of my own village people. I call myself my own village people because, one, I couldn't figure out what I was going to do when I grow up. But the village people were construction worker. I owned a construction company. A cop. I was a police officer. A paramedic, firefighter. I was a volunteer firefighter. And I worked for the fire department. That was where I did my paramedic work. And I worked on an Indian reservation. I have an aunt who thought she was Indian. So there's the Indian side of it. And military, I was in the Army. Not Navy, but I was in the Army. So I was my own village people because I could never figure out what I wanted to really do when I grew up. And I am one of those people that I can literally say when you're 3 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old, 9 years old, and you're getting ready for Halloween. And they're like, what do you want to be for Halloween? What do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a fireman. I want to be a policeman. I want to be a cop. I want to do this. I want to go in the military. Yeah, I fucking did all of it. And now I'm an artist. And I'm a very good artist. I will pat myself on the back. I am a very good artist. And I have been doing a lot of designs lately that have been very emotional because I've been getting stuff made and together for my best friend's memorial. So that's why I am who I am. And while I was in the military, I put myself through college. I was about to start med school when I met my husband, and I decided against it. And I'm glad I did. It was the right choice. I would have been fired during COVID, so I'm really glad. But while I was in the military, I put myself through college as a journalist. I went to journalism school, and I got my degree in journalism and broadcasting. And here we are today. I even worked as a full-time reporter for quite a few years. I did it while I was still in the National Guard and as a full-time journalist, reporter. So that is a little bit about my background. And the art side of it was not something I ever did. I wasn't really the crafty person. I made stuff. And then I became a little bit craftier later in life. And then, honestly, the art start of it was my husband and I went to a wine tasting event that we used to go on every year. And I saw this really pretty light, the wine art lamp or whatever. And I really liked it and I wanted it. And I told my husband, "Oh, I love that lamp over there, that light for the wall or whatever." And he said, "Well, get it." I came back over a little bit later and we were paying for our wine and, finishing up. And he's like, "Well, where's it?" I said, "That thing's $2,500. I'm not spending that on a light." And he was like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't get it. When we got home, I said, "I'm going to make my own." And he kind of giggled like, "Okay, like you make stuff." Now, I could make things if I put my mind to it. But I made it, and it was even better than that stupid one that was $2,500. And then it turned into a business because I would show stuff and people would be like, "Oh, wow, I want something like that." So now I do a lot of custom things, but I make easier things too. So, that's my little dish on how I juggle these hats with grit and grace. From battlefield to boredom, although I never served in a war zone, I will tell you that. Canvas to chaos. Yep, absolutely. Um, and I keep all my cubs and my grand cubs tight to my chest. I love them. I don't share a lot of their information or pictures or any of that because that is my family. And if you have a village people story of your own, please share with me. But don't forget to like that button, that one button that says subscribe, or the likey and the bell to get, this one, to get notified if we're coming on. I'm trying to grow my channel naturally and real. I'm here every day, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if I'm a little late, it's because there's some technical glitch or something happening, but I'm trying to get on every time on time. I will eventually make it on time on a regular basis once I get this thing under wraps. Part of that's the Rumble adds a problem because I love Rumble, but I don't like the way I have to go on to Rumble. I can't just go direct like I do. I have the other ones connected, but it loses its connection every day, even though I have a static thing. Blah, 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 whatever. I'm just mumbling now on stuff that you don't give a shit about. So don't forget to smash that like button and join my tribe. Come on. I need the follows. I need the people on there with me. I need it. For self-esteem alone. I need to know that I'm not just talking to myself. So, cheesy joke. I always do a cheesy joke at the beginning. Why did cancel culture go to therapy? It had an identity crisis after trying to ban everyone's jokes. Ha ha ha. Cue the canned laughter. Ding, ding, ding. Everybody laugh. Y'all, comedy's on trial, but we're keeping it light tonight. I'm going to try to keep this from being a drama fest. I want to keep and let me quickly go on here and make sure that my sound is not going to interrupt everything that we're doing. I have been notified by a certain someone that you can hear my phone on there. And I don't mean for it to do that, Donna, but it does. And I don't mean to do that. So, hey, if you're here, just know that, I don't know what Steve was trying to say. Squirrel, what was he trying? Do you? Still don't know, do you? I don't know what that's about, but anyway, maybe if you want to elaborate, because I don't know what you were trying to say. But I would be happy to share that if you would tell me what you're trying to say, because I don't know. I have no idea what you're trying to say. So go ahead and share that again, and I will be happy to share that with everyone out there. Anyway, let's get to let's see, what does it say here? I see there's a message. Oh, still don't know, do you? Okay, know what I want to be when I grow up. Yeah, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I eventually I will grow up when I'm in a cardboard box going through a burn pit. I do know this. I have finally decided I want to be cremated just so that I can have an urn that says, "Wow, it's hot in here." Or I finally have a smoking hot body. That's what my best friend said. The other one is I really like the Facebook videos out there that I saw somebody put that right after I die, I want somebody who has my phone to text, "Man, it's hot down here." Or "It's dark in here." Something like that. Something light and hearted because I am a light-hearted person. That's just kinda who I am. I've always been that light-hearted kinda person. So I want to keep it that way even when I'm dead. I have some little things that I would love to do, but if I tell them, then people would know what it that it's fake and that I was doing it. So I can't share some of the things that I would like to do because I think they would be funny. Um, and hell, I'm dead, so why do I care if they're offended? But that's why, I mean, like, think about it. Cancel culture, it's got its claws out again, y'all. It's taking its hits left and right. Everything is. Um, Dave Chappelle had the Twitter mobs after him, and now it's everyone who's defending just speaking your mind. But when's too far, too far? Comedy is supposed to punch up, and free speech is supposed to be something that we all can have, free speech. Um, but it makes us think. It makes us think about what's going on when you hear a comedian or a comedy joke about something. It makes you think, it makes you laugh. It's not supposed to tear us apart. Stats are showing that 62% of Americans feel they can't speak freely due to cancel culture. Now, that was as of 2021, but it's still happening. That's not freedom, that's a muzzle. But now what we have is we have the hate culture. We got folks cheering for free speech till it's not their vibe. As long as it's what they want to say and how much they want to do and how much hate they want to throw, how much shade they want to throw, that's all fine until it's back at them. Then it's, "Oh, no, no, we need to cancel them. That's not free speech anymore. That's hate speech." Hypocrisy much? Tonight, we're diving into 2 stories showing the mess in full color: a teen's deadly stabbing and how they're comparing that to a woman's viral racial slur. Both have cash flowing and X exploding. Let's unpack this without losing our cool. I'm going to tell a little bit of my opinion, what I think. I think it's really disgusting. Let's keep it spicy, but civil. Please share your comments. Put them in the comment section. I will read them if you send in a comment. This is a really, really, really controversial section right here. Shiloh Hendricks throwing the N-word out there. And the Karmelo Anthony case, stabbing a young 17-year-old kid. Let's forget the white and black. He stabbed a kid to death because he was asked to move. But yet the fundraisers that are happening are ranking in a ton of money. Now, what you did see is as soon as all the comments, because the comments, oh my God, the comments, that's what needs to be talked about. The comments on Karmelo Anthony's GoFundMe or go send whatever that thing is. Those comments are foul and disgusting. I mean, it is more disgusting by the day. Oh, it's Give, Send, Go. And according to New York Post, Give, Send, Go co-founder, not proud to host fundraiser for alleged track meet murderer suspect, says some donors. I hate ads. Said some donors got it wrong. More than $514,000 has been donated to help Karmelo Anthony's official fund on the crowdsourced site Give, Send, Go. $500,000 to an alleged murderer that occurred on track meet in Frisco, Texas on April 2nd. The victim was a 17-year-old Austin Metcalf of Memorial High School. He died in a deadly stabbing, one knife right through the heart. But yet Karmelo Anthony's family acts like he is the victim. They did a press conference with Dominique Alexander, who is a fraud and a shyster. Al Sharpton is staying away from it. That's how bad this is. He's not jumping on board yet. The suspect, 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony of Centennial High School, was released from jail on a bond that was reduced from $1 million to $250,000. I knew my dogs were going to start barking or doing something. Anthony told the police when he was caught, I did it. When they said, I have the alleged suspect, he said, not alleged, I did it. He claimed it was in self-defense. But according to Texas law, none of the witnesses and none of the circumstances angle towards that being the case. What the co-founder of Give, Send, Go said is, how proud am I of this campaign? I wouldn't say I'm proud at all. Well, that's because it has turned into the biggest controversy because of all the disgusting comments that have been said on there. The people who are commenting are saying some vile things. It's about time a white boy got what he should. I mean, there is so much on the comment side that is sickening. Hundreds of comments, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the comments on both sides are really, really, really disgusting. So do you think like the Shiloh Hendricks issue, that's about saying the N-word to a child, supposedly, and the Karmelo Anthony GoFund drama, are we all getting played? Is this going to open the doors for people to say, I'm going to do something bad because then I'm going to get paid for it? That's not how to make money. Shiloh Hendricks supposedly called a child the N-word at a park, playground. Apparently the kid was stealing out of her bag, so she said he was a little thief or whatever, and then called him the N-word and said, well, he was acting like one. There's controversy about it all in so many different aspects because there was supposedly some guy there, according to what reports have come out, some Muslim guy out there videotaping. Yeah. Supposedly he's been arrested and charges eventually dropped for inappropriateness with a child, but yet he's out at a park videotaping kids. I don't know if his child was with him. Maybe his child was with him. I don't know. So far, we haven't gotten that information. But then other people went after her saying, I want to know who this woman is. And then they started going after this woman and they started attacking this woman verbally. And then she did her gives and go or whatever to get money to help relocate. It's like the Hunger Games out there, but with Venmo receipts. You know, that's what's said in Reddit. The comments that are being done are absolutely insane. The comments on both sides are insane. People are donating based on race, past grudges, or just internet drama loyalty. They're picking sides. Team Shiloh, Team Karmelo, Team. This is disgusting. When is too far too far? And when is it that we're going to go like, I'm going to take it back? You know, I mean, okay, for me, I can't stand the N word, but I don't like the N word because of its definition. You know, do you know what the definition of it is? It technically means ignorant. And I don't think a lot of people are that ignorant anymore. But they're trying to play that the Metcalf slaying was because of race, racist. There have been hints and rumors put out that the Metcalf family are a bunch of racists and that's why he got what he deserves, yada, yada, yada. That's not true. There have been nothing that can prove that. He was on a football team with other people that were of different races, and they said he was great. He was fine. This ain't just a tragedy. It's a flashpoint to what's going to pop everything else. It's the pop off to White Lives Matter. It hit 40,000 mentions the day after, pushing racial narratives. Some call it black disculture gone wrong. Others say it's self-defense against bullying. How? Where's the proof of the bullying? And are we now saying that you can just knife a person if they bully you? There's no winning when a kid's dead and another's life is on hold. That's no win. And Shiloh Hendricks, a white Minnesota mom caught on video using the N-word at a supposed 5-year-old. Now, I've seen the kid, the video. Let me pull that up real quick. The video of the Shiloh yelling at the kid. And that kid, I'm sorry, but that ain't no 5-year-old. I just do not believe I do not believe that that child is a let me pull this up for y'all so you guys can see it. But there is no way I believe that that child was 5 years old. I just don't buy it. I don't think it's true. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm the bad person here. And now they're on the hunt for this woman like nobody's business. And I think it's disgusting.
A black 5-year-old, the N-word in a viral video has now raised over $666,000 to relocate. Trump said, I don't know, and asked about due process and if he has to uphold the Constitution as president, and that was only one of the things.
I don't know why why I picked this section where it's everything. Let's skip to the right part. Let's skip to the part that's just about this case. I hate that, it's easier sometimes. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's easier to find information more about a situation because they've already got some information out. But at the same time, it's sometimes not where we want it to be. So, and everyone keeps saying that it's that it is a 5-year-old kid, and it's from what I've seen, not a 5-year-old kid. I am going to try to pull up something different and see if I can. I'm trying to find her actual original one. She kind of snapped, I'm assuming. And the sad part is do you wonder if it's a scam? Do you wonder if it was if there's more to the story than that? She's being labeled all sorts of things. But okay, here's somebody's reaction to it. Let's see if we can pull this one out. Hold on. I don't know. Hopefully it's still just the same, something else. But we'll see if it is the same one. Okay. Let's pull that one up. All right, here we go. Forgive me if it's wrong.
Call him a child? Did you call the child the word?
Yeah, spoiler alert, while I censor it.
Okay. And of course they always and this guy right here, he's the one that got her doxxed.
She uses that word in this video multiple times. Rochester, Minnesota is where this happened. There's a man, we'll just say that he is not white, right? He is at the...
Okay, so that was pretty much the gist of the video. I'm not going to play too much of that. I don't really want to. I want to talk about this stuff more than I want to watch videos. You've all seen the videos. You've all heard about it. What I want to do is I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what's going on. And supposedly she's raised 666, ironic number, thousand. There's rumors out there now that it's been shut down and that they found it's a scam. There's a lot of donors that are spitting racist rhetoric back, others crying free speech. The kid's family got an NAACP fundraiser. Now it's dwarfed by Hendricks Hall. I mean, there's just so much going on with this. And there is a picture of the kid. That part I will find. Shiloh Hendricks. I love how I look up original video, and of course it doesn't show the original video. But I don't think that there's enough people that are talking about it in the way of what can this eventually do to the rest of the world. What can this do to the rest of us? What is it going to push towards? That's my concern. And I like truth and I like facts. I want to know I wanna know what the truth is. I wanna know what the facts are. I like to research and I like to understand. But the fact of the matter is, I hate that word regardless of whether you wanna take it back or you wanna use it. I do think it's a double standard. I think you have people that, you have this double standard of we can use it in rap songs and we can call each other this. The word means ignorant. If you look it up on, let's look that up. Um, Definition. I of Now this was originally a contemptuous term for black or dark skin, but the original meaning behind it, that made it so racist was that it was known for being ignorant, being stupid. Now wait, in the old days, there did the definition change. There is a widespread belief that the original meaning of the N-word, as defined in dictionaries, was an ignorant person, and related to belief that current dictionaries definitions describe it as a hateful, racist epithet, and those have changed. We do not know the source of those beliefs, but they are not accurate. The word was first included in the Merriam-Webster in 1864, at which time it was defined as a synonym of Negro, with a note indicating that it was used in derision or deprecation. There have never been a definition like ignorant person. Oh, well, I remember reading it when I was a kid, when we had to look it up when we were doing civil rights uh, um, thing in school. And whether it is or isn't, or was or wasn't a actual definition, that's what I remember reading, that and having to do an essay about it. But I do think there's a double standard. I don't think that word should be used at all by anyone. But if there is anyone that has the right to use it, it is the people that have taken ownership of the word. I think it's a horrible word. I think it's disgusting. I think it's a bad word, and I don't think we should be using it at all. I think we should be calling a spade a spade. Okay, let me show this. Minuteman says, the West is waking up to this bullshit. That's true. I mean, that's all this is doing, is waking. If they wanted a race war, they're pushing us towards one. I'm not a racist person at all. I don't give a rat's ass about what somebody does or what somebody looks like. I care about how you act. I care about how you treat other people, and I care about if you take care of your family. When you have statistics like, let me read this one here, and I can probably share it. But it's on my phone, it's not on my computer. So let me pull this up real quick. Whites killing black, 2%. Police killing whites, 3%. Whites killing whites, 16%. Whites killing whites, 16%. Blacks killing whites, 81%. Police killing blacks, 1%. Blacks killing blacks, 97%. America has a problem, but it's not what the media tells you it is. And that is a factor in all of this. We have a problem happening. And when you have things like Shiloh Hendricks, a fundraiser going viral, and the attack on all these other people, it is really disconcerting. Okay, now just real quickly, I have a picture of supposedly the boy Let me see. It went very quickly by, so I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. One, how does that non-American person that was videotaping at a park know that the kid was 5? Why does he know that the kid is, hold on. Why does he know that the kid is 5, and why does he know that the kid is they're just assuming that the kid is autistic. They're assuming this kid is 5, and, okay, so I will share this on my screen, uh, so you can see what I see, and this actually looked like a pretty decent, video on it, so I might play this one, real quick. Minuteman says, "You cannot hide the truth." Yeah, you can hide behind it long enough, but eventually it is going to come out, and you can't pretend. Um, it is a word that they use all the time, talking to each other. It's weaponized against white people. Absolutely. And you know what bothers me too is the fact that you can use any racial epithet towards white people, and we're not supposed to say anything. I don't give a shit if you call me a cracker. I don't care. I just don't care. I also don't give a shit if you call me fat, 'cause it is what it is. Do I wanna be fat? No. Do I eat very healthy? Yes, I do. But it doesn't mean you calling me fat's gonna hurt my fucking feelings. I'll tell you to fuck off. I'll tell you what I really think about you. So I don't really care. You can call me names. It's not gonna bother me any. But when other people use the same word and they weaponize it, only white people can't say it. And it's a word. As Minuteman says, it's a word. You know, Karmelo Anthony stabbed a kid. And this push for white guilt, all this white guilt, all this guilt for what? I wasn't alive when slavery happened, and I have done the research. None of my family owned slaves. You know what else? You know what else? You know what else? Anybody know Sunny Hostin? Anybody heard of her? Sunny Hostin? Yeah, from The View. Yeah, well, her great granddaddy was a slave seller. That racist bitch. Where's the facts? She found this out when they were doing all those celebrities doing their DNA and doing the heritage thing on I don't know, PBS or whatever fucking channel that was. I saw hers. Now, I think it's probably been like suppressed now, so we can't find it or something, but I watched it because I watched all those different shows, and the people that were finding out, hey, I've never been from Africa, the people who did find that they had family members in Africa, and they went there to meet them. They were long distance cousins. But Sunny Hostin, her great granddaddy was a black slave seller. There is that. Oops. Oops. My bad. She's the most racist person on The View. And now her husband's going through court and probably going to end up in prison. Oh, now can we call him a felon? Because you were so proud to call Donald Trump a felon. But yeah, what's the guilt for? You know, as Minuteman says here, I am the master of slurs. I'm the master of curse words. I love curse words. I'm sorry. It doesn't make me a bad person. The elephant in the room, racist. What a word. The magic word for someone who is not white. Okay. That's true. And we can choose not to use that word or use that word. All the immigration to the West that's happening now, even worse. That's adding so much more to the problem with having all the crime. But yet we're not supposed to say anything because we white people are racist if we say that it's immigration, that we have these people coming. Yeah, exactly, Minuteman. The man videotaping is a known suspect of child offenses. Sexual child offenses. That's what he is on his record. So therefore, thanks for the comments, by the way. Therefore, why was he there? Why was he videotaping children? I'd like to know a little bit more about that. So let's look at this video real quick. This is the said child. Now, I can see the height there. I know what 5-year-olds look like. And I personally do not think there's any way this child is 5 years old. I just don't believe it. I don't buy it. I did like what this person was saying. So we are going to watch some of this one. Hello, can we start? Let's start right here.
Symphony Thompson.
It's not start.
Hyper's Club.
Apparently I have my volume off. There we go.
In Atlanta for Hype Plus News, I'm Symphony Thompson. A story about a white woman shouting racial slurs at a 5-year-old autistic black boy in Rochester, Minnesota is going viral on the internet. According to sources, the 5-year-old took a toy from the white woman's child, which caused her to berate and chastise the 5-year-old by calling him the N-word. Another man would step in because his children often play with the 5-year-old. A video would capture the exchange between the two adults where the woman would continue her racist rant.
Okay, now I am going to interject for a second here. So his children play with the other children there. Do they know that for a fact? Because if the child on the swing belongs to him and plays with that other child, she's a very large 5-year-old as well. So is she more like, 10, 11, 12? And the other one's 10 or 11? Nah, probably not 5. And how does he know that he's autistic? I'd like to know. You know those kids way too much. That's my opinion. Oh, yeah, you're jumping in to stand in. Now, I did like that show. What would you do? Because if I see something bad, I will speak up. As a white woman, if I see something happening to a black person, I will stand up, but I will equally do it to the opposite. I will stand up for myself as well. Yeah, because like Minuteman says, we have to be bulletproof. Absolutely. We have to be bulletproof. And the thing is we don't have to be racist to be bulletproof. We also don't have to be racist just because we speak our minds or our opinions. Just because I'm speaking my mind or my opinion does not mean I'm racist. It means I have an opinion and I have the right to my opinion and I have the right to free speech. And I hate to say it, but that word is a part of free speech. It's a word. It's a bad word. It's not a nice word, but it's just a word. Karmelo Anthony stabbed a kid. And they immediately put out that that's why. That's what was said. And it was never said. At least not any report, not one witness has ever said that that word was said or that there was any bullying happening. They even tried to say that the two, Austin Metcalf and his brother, the two Metcalf boys, were on top of him, beating him up. That was part of the rumors that went out. And it turned out that's bullshit. That's bullshit too. Mm-hmm.
Child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
Well, and at this point in time, Yes, she may have said it to the kid, because there is no actual video of when it happened to the kid. So the video is of her saying it repeatedly to this man, not to the kid. She didn't go and say it to the kid again. She was saying it to this guy. And absolutely, there is nothing wrong with being white, and I have my freedom of speech. I do too. We have the freedom of speech, and I will tell you that I don't like certain words. Let me make up a word. Kwan KK. Okay. Democrat. Yeah. Democrats are the worst at all of this. I mean, look at all the racist crap that the Democrats have said. What about Biden saying you ain't black unless you vote for me? You know, there's a lot of crap out there that is disgusting. A lot. It's not just this situation. There's a lot of this stuff happening, and it's been happening for a while. But are we now about to burst the bubble? That would be a good question.
Somebody dig into your shit.
A little kid just did, you dumbass.
That little kid, you call him a
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
Huh.
I do have to say, I like the fact that she said, I don't give a shit. Because you do have to get to a point where you don't give a shit anymore. That people have to, you know, I don't say we have to go back to a bunch of people using these kind of things towards other people, but we have to stand up for ourselves too. We have to say, you know, I don't want to be a part of this race war. It'll get ugly. It'll get real ugly. I don't want a new civil war.
We'll see about that, what the internet has to say about you.
As the story began circulating on social media site X and other platforms, many online users would chime in and offer their own opinions, shaming the white woman. One social media user would write, "The child she called the N-word is a 5-year-old autistic child. He's 5 and autistic. The comments defending this woman are absolutely disgusting. So much hate and ugliness. Remember these comments whenever God is judging you to enter the gates of heaven." Another social media user.
That's right, but we have to remember, you know, God is the judge and jury, not ourselves and not social media. And we are trying people in the court of social media. And that goes to people that are guilty as well as people that are innocent. Karmelo Anthony deserves a fair trial. And I mean a fair trial. He doesn't need to be let go because social media thinks that he is innocent and that it was self-defense based on the fact that he's black and the kid that he killed was white. That's not fair. That's not just. Austin Metcalf, his family deserves justice for what happened to him. When I see things like justice for Karmelo, I'm confused. Were you the victim? Because usually that's the victim. I mean, they're wearing t-shirts and all sorts of shit. Are you kidding me? He killed a kid. And he was also in trouble several other times for carrying a knife to school. Other people say, oh, I only remember him beating people up or getting in a fight. I never saw him stab nobody before. Oh, okay. So that makes it okay? Just because you never saw him stab anyone before?
User would agree and echo a similar thought by writing, "She is disgusting. Her calling that 5-year-old boy the N-word is unacceptable."
But I think part of the confusion here too, and I don't think it's acceptable if he's 5 years old or 10 years old, but And there is a difference between a 5-year-old and a 10-year-old. A 10-year-old should know a whole lot better about getting into somebody else's property and stealing somebody's stuff or taking things that don't belong to them. But a 5-year-old, yeah, I would probably say it would be even worse being a 5-year-old. But where are the parents? Who's that kid there with? If he's 5 years old, where are his parents? Why didn't his parents jump in the situation? Is that because they aren't there because the kid's not 5, because the kid's 10 and he took himself to the park?
I don't care if the boy took her child's toy. Little kids tend to take toys from other kids. She should have went to the parents. One online user would point out that a child taking another child's toy is common behavior. He wrote, "The boy took her son's toy."
Right. Have you never been around kids? I agree with that. Like, have you never been around kids? But I don't think we know the whole circumstance. I'm hoping that, and maybe she's already done it, but I'm hoping that she will actually agree to do an interview.
Has she never been around children? Good on that man for confronting her. One more user would predict the white woman would come out and apologize several weeks later after being identified, which is a common trend once racists have been.
I do love the fact that she owned it. I'm sorry. I disagree with what she did, but I respect her standing her ground and owning it. And so far, I have not seen her come out and apologize. I think if you're going to do something shitty, own it. And the thing that is pushing this forward, though, and that a lot of people are not really understanding, is that we're being pushed into a corner, and it's almost like white people are the lion in the cage, and you poking, or the bear. I mean, it's often said, don't poke the bear. It's like white people, and we're still a majority in this country, and depends on where you're at. But if you are in a cage and you're being attacked and you're being poked, eventually the bear is going to strike back. And how do we find a way to come together in unity as a country and as people if we continue this poking back and forth? And now it's almost like you got the brown bear or white bear, the polar bear, in one cage, and you got the black bear in the other cage, and they're poking each other through the cage doors. And at what point are we going to break the bars and we're just going to go at it? I don't want to see that happen, because it will be absolute mayhem. It will be horrific. Minuteman says, keep doing what you do. Thanks. I appreciate that. I will continue doing what I do, because I will always be honest, and I will always speak my mind. And sometimes people don't like it, and sometimes people don't like that I'm willing to speak my mind, because we have to be an honest people. And I agree. You never apologize to your assailant, ever. When somebody comes after you, you don't apologize for that. And I think that we have to realize that there is a lot more, there are a lot more people that are getting sick and tired of this, sick and tired of the comments, sick and tired of things that are said. I mean, I will tell you, I'm going to tell you a little quick story. Before I put this next comment on there, I'm going to tell a little quick story. And it really pissed me off. Okay. I was in South Carolina at the time. I lived there for work. And I am a white woman with a giant ass. I have a big old butt. Born, bred, I had a big butt. Even when I was anorexic, I still had a big old booty. And my legs and my butt, most of it came from riding horses, and the strength in my butt and my legs. And now that I'm heavier and I'm a heavy white girl, I was walking into a Walmart there in Charleston, South Carolina. And there was 3 large black women walking into the store. And this was a number of years ago. And they were walking, and this one woman says, "Oh, look at that. She went and got herself a butt implant so she can steal our men." And I turned around. Now, I'm assuming, yeah, I know. What do they say about assuming? Make an ass out of you and me. But I guess they were assuming that I would be scared because they were 3 big black women, that I wouldn't say anything and I wouldn't stand up for myself. And I turned around and I'm like, "Excuse me, what?" And the lady says, "Yeah, I see how you went and got a black butt so you can try to steal our men." And I said, "Excuse me, what are you talking about? I'm married to a white man." And she's like, "Oh, sure you are. Are you just trying to wait till you can find a good black man?" And I said, "Can't say I have, can't say I will, can't say I ever want to." Now, I don't care if anybody does. I could care less who you're married to. And she said, "Excuse me, what, you racist?" And I said, "I'm racist because I just told you I'm not interested in your men. Now I'm racist." I'm like, "Which is it? I want to steal your men or I'm racist? Which one?" Because you can't have both at the same time. I was called racist when I was a cop too before by a guy who then later tried to claim I tried to sexually assault him when I was doing the pat down at the same time. I was like, "So I'm either racist or I'm trying to rape you, one of the two, because I can't do both. It doesn't work that way. If I'm racist, I'm not going to touch you like that." And I will tell you, the difference between a true racist is they won't break bread with you. They don't want anything to do with you. They don't want to be in the same room with you. They will not shake your hand. They will not do any of those things. And I know this because I was literally a medic. When I was in paramedic school, I was on a call with a guy who was a white guy involved in a gang shooting. He was shot like 7, 8 times. And the paramedic that was my instructor in the field, for my field training part of it, was a black guy. And we got up there and the guy laying on the ground, he's like, "That end don't touch me." And I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, he's the paramedic. I don't care. He doesn't touch me." I'm like, "Dude, you've been shot like 7 times. You're going to die." And he's like, "I don't care. That end don't touch me." He said it like 4 or 5 times. And I said, "Well, you're an idiot because you're going to die on this hill. You're going to die over this." And he's like, I don't care. I'll die over it." My paramedic had to not touch him. Hands up. That is a true racist. That is a true racist right there. Somebody who will literally die rather than be touched by someone. Now, as soon as he went unconscious, it was implied consent. And we went to work. He did die. He was shot 7 times and bleeding out. Kind of hard that he would survive. But those 3 black ladies then tried to gang up on me because I stood my ground and I stood up to them. And I'm like, "So I either want your men or I'm racist. Pick one, because I can't be both at the same time." And she's like, "Well, why'd you go and get a butt like that?" I said, "I don't know. Ask my DNA. Ask my grandmother. Ask my other grandmother. My aunt's butt's just as big as mine is. I just happen to get a big old booty. I didn't go, and trust me, if I could, I would go and have it." It's not my mom's butt. My mom's flat Fanny Annie. So the thing is we have to realize that we have differences and we have differences of opinions. And you know what? We're back to the color of your skin has to do with what you think. Now and I don't believe in reverse racism. Racism is racism. If you think you are better than another race or another person, you are whatever it is. But just like no black people should apologize for who they are and where they come from, white people shouldn't be apologizing either. Now, I have to tell you, I have very fine, thin hair. Very fine, thin hair. This is all my hair. This is it. This is it right here. That's it. I don't have any hiding somewhere else. And I see a lot of black women that with their real hair. And I'm like, man, they got nice hair. Or the cheekbones. Or the lips. I have no lips. I have absolute white girl lips. From, my heritage. Scottish, Irish, and English. And German. So I don't have any lips. Like, it doesn't pay any attention to put lipstick on these. I put it on sometimes. You can't really tell because I don't have any lips. So I look at that and I go like, damn. But you know what I did get? I got beautiful skin. I've never gotten a zit in my life. But I got a giant ass. I'm not going to apologize for it, and I'm not stealing from your culture because I have a big butt. Let me look at this comment. Beach type Zaku. We whites are sick and tired of this crap. Successful blacks live in white America because they know they're safer than in black neighborhoods. Facts. That is true. Listen to Officer Tatum. He'll talk about it all the time. And then he has to say all the time that he gets nailed at, why you always keep talking bad about the black man? Because you guys put yourselves in positions that we have to say, what the fuck? Look at that stat that I put out just a minute ago. Blacks killing blacks. 97% of cases are the blacks that are killing each other. If black lives really mattered, why don't you go into these inner cities and stop it? Why do you talk about gang banging and bitches and hoes and all this stuff and the N-word, the N-word, the N-word in your rap music? Why don't you make it more uplifting? Why don't you make it more empowering? Why don't you go back into those neighborhoods you might have came from and buy the apartment complex, clean it up, fix it up? And why don't you use some of that money you have, Tupac? I know he's gone. And any other ones like that. Why don't you go in those inner cities and pay for scholarships for these people to go to school? Why don't you go in and make a difference? Because you don't. When you look at 80% of Americans say racial slurs are never okay in public, but 45% think context matters. So why is Hendrix getting bank while the kid's family deals with trauma? I don't even bother with that carnage there. You think that kid's never heard that word before? I bet his mama uses that word because you hear it all the time where they call each other those words. N-word usage and double standards. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the N-word. In Black communities, it's been reclaimed in music and speech. Think Kendrick Lamar and Dave Chappelle don't use that word and all the other people like that? Now, there's some good ones out there that don't use that word. 70% of Black Americans say it's acceptable to casual settings amongst Black people, but only 15% of white Americans agree it's ever okay. I don't think it's okay. If we can't use it, you shouldn't be able to use it. And I don't want to use it because I don't like the word. Why the gap? History, the word's a weapon when wielded with hate. Sure, context matters. A bond when used with love. But when white folks like Hendrix or anyone else uses it in any way, shape, or form, it's a slap with centuries of pain. Okay, is it though? Or is that the reason? Or is it because we have gotten to a point where we're now sick of it. The double standard. Black artists use it in lyrics, but white folks saying it sparks outrage. Even if you say it, I mean, I've seen the outrage when somebody uses it in with their group of people in the context of friendship, love, and bro man. And then they get, oh my God, did he say the N-word? They went after Joe Rogan for saying it, I guess, and he said it in like a happy-go-lucky manner. It's not fair, but it's rooted in power dynamics. It's a power play. Problem is, it's fueling a fire that we don't want to have. Like I said, we have a white bear, the polar bear, and the black bear are in two cages, and they're, other people are poking both the damn bears, and eventually we're going to break the cages. Beach type Zaku says Taven is correct. Colin Noor, the doctor of common sense, etc. All of them talk about it. Pop and politics. I added that one in. Blacks would be better off if they improved their culture, but then I guess I'm just racist. Yeah, that's true. Are we pushing towards a race war? Nobody wants a race war. But the internet's trying hard. The X post, the Reddits, these GoFundMe things, or whatever brand of funding it is, Gives and Go, whatever. They tried really hard when Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. And he didn't shoot 3 black people in the back. Know your facts. I followed that entire case the entire time. And when he was acquitted, I cried. I was so happy. I was like, yes, because he was not guilty. And it was 3 white people, for God's sakes. But boy, did they want to push that narrative. There were people literally that went on the internet and said like, oh shit, I thought that his victims were black. Oh, no, they weren't. Now, I do have to say nationalists like Nick Fuentes, he's tied now to the Anthony case because he did the White Lives Matter, the white, and there wasn't that many people that went to that event. But he's starting to spread. It's starting to spread these stories where people are tired of it. They are sick of it. They are sick of being hated against when we no longer hate. And yes, there are massive racists out there. There will always be whites who hate anyone. There will always be Asians who hate anyone. There will always be Latinas that hate anyone. I have them all in my family. Somewhere. We all do. Somewhere. 65% of Americans say social media is amplifying the racial tension, and that is true. This ain't a war. It's a trap. And they're putting us against each other so that we will start a war. While we all lose. We're all going to lose in this war. And it started, in my opinion, by Obama. No more double standards for anyone ever. Double standards are a sign of hypocrisy. It is hypocrisy, straight up. Absolutely. Thank you, Beach Type Zaku. That's hard to say slowly. But it's absolutely true. We have to stop with the double standards. Fundraising and free speech. I mean, Metcalf. Anthony's is at like 515,000. And when they disabled the comments and people admitted they were only donating so that they could comment their racial hatred towards Metcalf and all white people. And Metcalf's is now around $518,000. I mean, that's an expensive funeral. Anthony's family isn't even gonna really use that money for his defense because there's really no defense, and they know it. They probably have a free attorney anyway. Oh, they've got Dominique Alexander, the fraudster, the money grubber. I did a story about him earlier. Look up one of my other ones about grifting. I mean, after the man has started three 501c3s. One was a 501c4, revoked his name. Almost the exact same name as the company he calls it now for the nonprofit. And then Take Two, revoked. And now he's on the third one, which just started in February 2024. Look up that show. It was about grifters not too long ago. It's not just about the money, though. It's the signals that are going out. Hendrix is up to like 666. I don't know what hers is up to right now, but it was up to like 666,000, which is a very ironic number. Donors are picking sides, not solutions. 58% of Americans say crowdfunding for controversial figures encourages division. Absolutely. Free speech? Yeah, we have free speech. You have the freedom to say what you want to say, even if I don't like it. Everyone's for it till it's theirs that's being talked about. Then they don't like free speech. Of course, everyone's backing for free speech that is backing Hendrix. They're backing it, saying free speech and, da-da-da. And the other side is saying it's a racist slur and it's hate speech. Okay, hate speech. Where the law comes into hate speech is you actually have to use words like that and threaten. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do that. That would be more accurate for a hate crime. It might be hateful language, but is it a hate crime? I'm going to repeat this one more time. Beach type Zaku says, no more double standards for anyone ever. Double standards are signs of hypocrisy. We have to remember to keep thinking about that. We're in a mess here. Free speech is a weapon, not a right. Oh, yes, it's a right. And that's what they're trying to misconstrue. That's the double standards. That's the hypocrisy. They're trying to say that free speech is not a right when they think it's being used as a weapon. You can say whatever you want, but you shouldn't be crying about the consequences when they hit you if you say something that you shouldn't be saying. I'm a mama bear. And it breaks my heart that there's two families who lost a kid. One to death and the other one's going to prison probably for the rest of his life. A little kid who may or may not have deserved her to say something, whether she had to say that or not, that's up to her. But what was he also taught by going into somebody else's bag and stealing something from them? He was taught something, or he wouldn't have gotten into somebody else's bag to begin with. We don't need more money and more hashtags going out to this problem. We need to listen. We need to not yell. We have to heal by telling our stories, not slinging slurs. Let's do that. Join the conversation. Don't forget to hit that like button. Share with your friends. Please, please, for the love of God, subscribe to my channel because I think I only have like 50 something people. How do we bridge this divide? Subscribe for more because I'm always going to be bringing more stuff. Now, what time is it? It is time for Dear Margaret advice segment. This is my modern take on the Dear Abby. And the reason it's called Margaret is because of when I watched JD Vance in his interview with Margaret, and he was like, I don't really care, Margaret. I don't really care, Margaret. I loved it. I loved it. Stand your ground. I don't really care, Margaret. So I will give advice, but at the end of the day, I don't really care, Margaret. But it's time for Dear Margaret. So y'all, I'm going to spill the tea. I'm going to serve the truth, and I'm going to tell my opinion on these questions about Anthony Hendricks, race, speech, and how we move forward. Send your questions to GurlTauX, and you can email them to Dear Marge, DearMarg at GurlTauX, GurlTauX.com. Because what are we going to do? We're going to talk about it. So let's get on with Dear Margaret. And if you happen to have a Dear Margaret advice question while we are on the show, please don't hesitate to write Dear Margaret and a question. I will do it on live. And don't forget to add a catchy little signature like they used to do in Dear App.
Dear Margaret's here, let's dive right in. Bring your questions, let's begin. Life's a real maze. We'll help you with your coping. Dealing with life in this rat race. Honest thoughts, no sugarcoating.
Tell us your tales, your woes, your gripes. No fluff, no bows, just real life types. Sign it clever, let your pen take flight. We'll serve the truth, sharp and bright.
Send us a query, take a lead. No hidden rules, no secrets to keep. Anonymous wisdom that cuts so deep. Dear Margaret's advice you'll want to reap. But in the end, let's admit we all really don't care, Margaret.
Absolutely. We really don't care, Margaret. But I'm going to do my advice questions anyway. And I do care to give the right answers. My answer, my opinion. That's what I share when I do my Dear Margaret questions. Let's get to it. Ready, set, go. Dear Margaret, I'm a Black mom and my teen son's scared to go to school after the Anthony case. He thinks he'll be targeted for defending himself. How do I keep him safe without losing his spirit? Signed, Worried in Frisco. Ah, wow, in Frisco. So what I have to say about that is tell him don't take a knife to school. That's that, first of all. And there is no self-defense for purely being white or purely being Black. That is not a self-defense claim. How about just go and be honest? Be an upstanding kid. Be honest. Do the right thing. Say the right thing. And don't fall into this trap that we're being put into. Teach him to de-escalate. Words over fists always. You can de-escalate. Walk away. Role play scenarios at him, like my Marine Cub did with me. He does that with me with my guns. We do mock situations. 73% of Black teens feel racially profiled at school. Do they feel that way, or is it actually happening? Are they being told to feel that way, or is it actually happening? Connect him with mentors, coaches, pastors, people who can help him, who've walked this path that aren't feeding the race fight. Connect him with someone like Brandon Tatum, who will tell the truth and shoot it straight, and quite a few others. Pop in Politics. Watch them. You're his shield, mama. Be his shield. Watch Sage Steele. She just talked about the interview with her parents. Her parents are an interracial couple from the 60s. And they're still together almost 50 years. What she went through, they have some great advice. Don't forget to like, share, and help me, this mama bear, protecting your cubs, protecting my cubs. All right, letter number 2. Dear Margaret, I'm white and got called out for singing along to a rap song with the N-word. I didn't mean harm, but my black friends ghosted me. Was I wrong? And how do I fix it? Signed, Clueless Karaoke Queen. Wow. That is so hard when things like that are happening. Like, seriously? You stepped into it without intent. Don't apologize for it. Remember what was said earlier. It's about context. You know, they try to use the facts that you said the word to erase what the intent was and cause a bigger impact. That word's got a lot of baggage, sure. But it should not only be offensive from white folks. And if you aren't doing it in a harmful manner, first of all, I don't think you should apologize. I think you should stand your ground, and I think you should stand up to it. Now, what might be said out there is apologize sincerely. No buts about it. Just say you're so sorry. You were singing a song that they would sing and probably not give a shit about. Ask them why it bothered them so much. Ask them. Go and approach them, and I would confront them and say, why does that bother you so bad if you guys are singing the same song? We can rebuild trust by showing respect and finding unity by discussing it, having a deep down discussion and being honest about it. Why is singing it a problem? It wasn't me slinging it. It was me singing it in a song. Singing along with a song. There is a difference, and it should be about context. All right, letter number 3. And time is about up too. Letter number 3. Dear Margaret, I donated to Hendrix fundraiser because I hate cancel culture, but now I'm getting flack for backing a racist. Did I mess up? Signed, Free Speech Fighter. I think that if you feel compelled to donate, then you should donate. You walked into a minefield maybe, but you did it and you also put out that you donated. So maybe you want to get some of that attention. Maybe you want to get some of that action. I don't know. 55% of Americans say fundraising for hate speech amplifies division. Is it amplifying division, or is it finally showing that we are at a crossroads? You got the right to your principles, but own any fallout that comes from it, or own what you stand for. If you're truly about free speech, then stand for it. Balance the scales. I don't say you have to go and donate to the kids' family too to balance those scales, but remember to be honest about what you're doing it for. And are you seeking attention? Do you want to see if you can get a little bit of that action? And are you wanting to fuel this race war that's pushing towards us? I don't want to see that happen. And I do have one more comment from Beach Type Zoku, so I will get to that as soon as we finish our last Dear Margaret question. Dear Margaret, let's do this last one. Dear Margaret, I'm tired of ex-posts pushing race war narratives. How do I talk to my white and black friends about this without turning it into a fight? Signed, Peacemaker in the DMs. Okay, well, that is a good point, but we have to talk about it. We have to do God's work. And God's work is unity, is telling people not to hate based on skin color, not hate based on these narratives. Martin Luther King said, I want there to be a time where people are judged, where my people are judged based on the content of their character, not the color of their skin. And reversing it to now base white people on the content of their character. Nope, just their skin. And they can't say what we can say. They can't do what we can do. And we can be hateful. We can be racist. We can throw hate speech. We can do all this as long as it's geared towards those white people. Then it's acceptable. That's not true. It's not acceptable no matter who it's coming from. Now I have one more comment from Beach Type Zaku. Am I saying that right? Nobody wants a race war. The low IQ people are running on emotion because that's all they have. And I think what fueled that too is the fact that for the last election cycle, a lot of that stuff started putting in there. And on top of that, there was a lot of these, things that really started coming out with Kamala not really being truly black and, and it just started fueling this fight that was going back and forth. And it has gotten to where the pot is boiling over. And we are at, like I said, a crossroads, but it's getting to a point where the pot is boiling over. And we are getting to a point where we can't continue at this momentum. We can't continue this. We've got to find a way to have unity. We've got to find a way to talk to one another. We have to tackle the tough stuff, but we have to talk about tragedy and hate and division, but we have to talk about it in a way that will make people see what is being pushed towards us, what is being done to us, that they want us to be at a battle. They want us to be in a fight. We have to fight not to be in a fight. We all fight. Our families fight, friends fight, people fight. But how do you get over it? Not by stabbing people, not by shooting people. We have to work through it. Next week, I'm going to be talking about vets and valor, honoring our heroes. Send your stories to GurlTauX.com, Tori, Tori, at GurlTauX.com. If you have any ideas for stories or shows that you'd like me to do, please send an email to, or you can message me on any of my socials. All my socials are GurlTauX, GurlTauX. But I don't know what you're lipping to me. I've been reading all of them. My husband's not listening to the show, but he's going to tell me there's messages. But we all have those problems. We all have those fights, and we all have to come together somehow. Just remember, if you missed it, the reason I probably feel so strongly about this is because I am my own village people. I've done it all. I was a firefighter. I was a cop. I was a veteran, or I am a veteran. I was in the military, hence now I'm a veteran. I'm an artist. I own a nonprofit, and I owned a construction company. I've done a lot of things. I was a journalist. I know what all this journalism bullshit is, and that's why I pulled out of it when I saw the writing on the wall. I guess I should have stayed in it. But I'm trying to build my crew here, so please join me, share, like, subscribe, post your comments, and I will share them. Unless they're really bad, I pretty much am not going to put people's free speech out the door. It's a chaos world out there, but it's ours. We have to fight for it. But like I said, send me those messages. Email me, Tori, Tori, at GurlTauX. And if you have a Dear Margaret question, please email them to dearmarg, DearMarg, at GurlTauX.com, GurlTauX, because we're going to talk about it. Well, that's it for my show tonight, guys. I will be back tomorrow, Wednesday. And don't forget, Friday is the second part of yesterday's show with my mom, who was a pilot in the 60s. And she was actually the first woman pilot on the West Coast that became an instructor and commercial airline pilot as a female. So we will continue that show on Friday with Mom. But until then, be strong, be courageous, be honest, be yourself, and be free. Thank you so much and have a great night. Talk to you all tomorrow. Monday through Friday, Central Standard Time.
Thank you for watching GurlTauX live broadcast, which airs weekdays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't forget to send in your Dear Margaret questions. Then join us for our opinion-based answers. We love having you. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and share with your friends. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night.